You've been told it's all downhill after 60. That aging is a slow surrender. That your best years, your strength, your health, your sharpness, are behind you. But what if that wasn't true? What if everything you've been led to believe about aging, about weight, about healing, was incomplete? This is not a story about miracle drugs or overnight transformations. This is not a sales pitch hiding behind a glossy headline. This is about something more ancient, more enduring. Food. Not the kind packaged in plastic with a celebrity on the box. Not the kind your doctor rushes through during a routine visit. But real food, whole food, healing food. The kind of food that generations before us revered, that modern science is only now catching up to. Foods that don't just taste good, but reset the clock, restore broken systems, and fuel a second chance at vitality. Because here's the truth, after 60, your body speaks louder. The aches, the stiffness, the belly fat that won't leave, the energy that never shows up. These aren't random, they're warnings. Warnings that inflammation is rising, that digestion is slowing, that hormones are off balance, that your body is struggling to do what it once did with ease. But your body is not the enemy. It is the most loyal machine you'll ever know, and given the right tools, it will fight for you, even now, especially now. In a world obsessed with youth, we forget something vital. The body never forgets how to heal. Today, we return to the basics, to the wisdom of grandmothers and farmers, to the roots of what it means to eat not just for taste, but for transformation. We'll uncover 7 foods, yes, just 7, that have been shown to melt stubborn fat, repair damaged tissue, regulate blood sugar, reduce joint pain, and unlock energy reserves you thought were gone forever. You won't hear about them on primetime commercials, but they are in your grocery store. They're in your kitchen. They're waiting for you to notice them. This is about more than nutrition. This is about dignity. About aging with strength, not weakness. About living fully, not shrinking quietly. If you've ever felt dismissed, ignored, or told it's too late to change, this is for you. Because the truth is simple, it's not too late. The second half of life can be the better half, if you feed it right. And it starts not with pills, not with gym memberships, but with what's already on your plate. This is the story of food as medicine, of 7 surprising allies in your fight for a better, stronger, leaner you. And it begins, right now. If you've made it this far in life, you already know something the world forgets. That wisdom is not found in books alone. It's earned, in quiet kitchens, on long walks, in the silence of hospital rooms, through decades of raising children, burying friends, facing loss, and still finding the courage to laugh. So much of today's health advice comes from people who haven't lived long enough to truly understand what aging feels like. The stiff joints in the morning, the weight that clings despite eating less, the sense that your body has become a stranger, slower, heavier, harder to manage. But today, we're not turning to fads or influencers. We're turning to something deeper. Elderly wisdom. The kind passed from generation to generation. The kind that doesn't need fancy branding or scientific jargon to be effective, because it's rooted in experience. It stood the test of time. And now, it's being validated by the science that finally caught up. In this video, we're not just talking about food, we're talking about what works. The foods we'll explore today are surprising, yes, but more importantly, they are proven, by centuries of tradition and reinforced by research. They're gentle, powerful, and perfectly suited for the unique needs of a body over 60. This is about healing from the inside out, about reclaiming the energy, clarity, and strength you deserve, not through restriction, but through nourishment. You're going to hear stories of people just like you, mothers, grandfathers, veterans, retired teachers, caregivers, who made small changes and saw big results. Not overnight miracles, but gradual, sustainable transformations. They didn't chase youth, they chose wellness. And that choice made all the difference. So as we walk through these 7 foods, I want you to listen not just with your ears, but with your memory, with your heart. Think of the meals your parents made, the remedies your grandmother trusted, the herbs that once grew outside your front door. Because the truth we've forgotten is this: food isn't just fuel, it's history, it's medicine, it's identity. And when we choose wisely, especially after 60, we aren't just feeding a body, we're honoring a lifetime. We live in a world that glorifies youth. It sells speed, strength, and skin that never wrinkles. It fills our screens with 20-year-old bodies and 30-year-old experts, talking about health as if it were a race to be won before the clock runs out. But what they forget, what they never truly understand, is that there is a kind of wisdom that only comes with age. You, watching this, already know it. You've lived through the decades. You've watched the world reshape itself in your lifetime, wars beginning and ending, currencies rising and crashing, children growing into adults who now carry their own burdens. You've felt the shift in your bones, the stillness in the night when the world sleeps, and the only thing louder than the ticking clock is your own breath. And through all of that, you survived. But no one ever talks about what comes after survival, about how to thrive when the world assumes you're past your peak. Aging, they say, is a slow decline. But those who say that, they don't know what you know. They don't know what it's like to feel a storm brewing in your joints before the weather even changes. They don't know how suddenly your energy feels borrowed, your sleep feels shallow, your body becomes more foreign with each year. And maybe you've tried. Maybe you've followed the advice, counted calories, taken the vitamins, walked your 20 minutes a day. Maybe you've stared at the scale and wondered why it won't budge. Or maybe you've stood in front of the mirror, wondering where that fire in your eyes went. But let me ask you something. What if the real solution isn't new, but old? Older than the supplement aisle. Older than diet trends. Older than calorie calculators. What if the healing your body needs has been here all along, not in the form of surgery or synthetic pills, but in the form of food? Real food. Healing food. Food chosen not from popularity, but from purpose. You see, there was a time when food wasn't manufactured. It was cultivated, grown with intention, cooked with patience, shared with love. It was a sacred part of living, not just surviving. And for those who came before us, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, food was more than nourishment. It was wisdom passed through recipes. It was the first medicine. This video is about reconnecting with that wisdom, not just to remember, but to reclaim. These are ingredients backed by modern science, yes, but they've also stood the test of time, used by people across generations and cultures to treat inflammation, balance hormones, heal the gut, protect the heart, and yes, melt fat in ways that respect the body's natural rhythm. We are going to talk about real people. People who, after the age of 60, felt like giving up. People who believed the best was behind them, until they made simple changes. Changes that brought back energy, clarity, and strength. Not because they starved themselves, not because they joined a gym or chased youth, but because they honored what their body needed. And what the body needs after 60 is very different than what it needed at 20. It doesn't need extremes. It doesn't need punishment. It needs nourishment. Gentle, consistent, powerful nourishment. The foods we'll explore today were chosen for one reason, because they work. They don't just target one problem. They support the entire system. They create balance where there's been chaos. They ease the burden on aging organs. They heal what has been inflamed, overworked, or neglected. And the best part? They're not exotic or expensive. Most of them are hiding in plain sight, at the grocery store, in your kitchen, or maybe even in your garden. But before we get into them, let's take a moment to pause. Think about the body you live in. How much it's done for you. How many miles it's walked. How many nights it stayed up to comfort others. How many times it's kept going, even when it was tired, broken, or hurting. Your body has never abandoned you. Even now, it's fighting for you, processing toxins, repairing tissue, regulating hormones, balancing blood sugar, responding to every meal, every breath, every moment. And it will continue to fight for you, if you give it the right tools. So today, we stop feeding it lies. We stop starving it of nutrients. We feed it the truth. 7 foods. 7 chapters in the story of your healing. 7 opportunities to tell your body, I'm still with you. I still believe in your power to change, and I'm going to help you do it. Whether you're here to lose fat, to ease the pain in your joints, to sleep through the night again, or just to feel alive in your own skin, this journey is for you. Not because you want to be young again, but because you've earned the right to feel good. You've earned the right to walk without wincing, to eat without guilt, to wake up with energy, and to know, deep in your bones, that your best days haven't left you behind. They're still here, waiting. So let's begin. 7 surprising foods. 1 powerful truth. It's not too late to heal. Food number 1, avocados. Linda Sanderson never thought of herself as unhealthy. She didn't smoke. She wasn't particularly overweight. She walked when she could, drank her water, and avoided sweets, mostly. At 67, she lived alone in a modest cottage on the edge of Asheville, North Carolina. Her days were quiet, morning tea, crossword puzzles, tending to her herbs, and phone calls with her daughter who lived 2 states away. But there was a heaviness she couldn't shake. Her doctor had mentioned it gently during a checkup. "Your cholesterol is creeping up again, Linda. We may need to talk about medication soon." She didn't like the sound of that. Not because she feared pills, she'd taken her fair share over the years, but because somewhere deep down, she wondered, wasn't there something she could do herself? The belly fat was stubborn, soft, and unwelcome. Her energy lagged, especially in the afternoons. She couldn't remember the last time she felt truly light in her body. Then one evening, while scrolling through her daughter's social media page, she saw a video. A short clip, just under 2 minutes, of a nutritionist explaining the benefits of avocados. "Full of good fats," he said, "can lower bad cholesterol, stabilizes blood sugar, fights inflammation." Linda watched it twice. Then again the next morning. She remembered her daughter had left 2 avocados in the fridge the last time she visited. Linda had planned to throw them out, unsure what to do with them. That morning, she cut one open, clumsy with the knife but curious. She scooped half of it onto a piece of toast, sprinkled a little sea salt, cracked some black pepper, and for the first time in weeks, she enjoyed her breakfast. Not rushed, not bland, not guilty, just simple, creamy, nourishing. She didn't expect a miracle, but something changed. One slice became a habit. 1 week became 2. A month later, her pants were loose around the waist. Her face looked less puffy in the mirror. Her joints didn't groan as loudly when she stood from the couch. At her next checkup, her doctor raised an eyebrow, flipped through her chart, and said, surprised, "Linda, your cholesterol's dropped 10 points. What have you been doing?" She smiled softly. "Avocados," she said. "Just avocados." Avocados are one of nature's most misunderstood gifts. For decades, people feared them. Too fatty, too rich, too indulgent. But we now know that fear was misdirected. The fats in avocados? They're called monounsaturated fats, and they don't clog arteries, they clear them. These healthy fats reduce levels of LDL, the bad cholesterol, and raise levels of HDL, the good cholesterol, helping protect your heart, especially important after 60, when cardiovascular risk increases. But the benefits go far deeper. Avocados support metabolic health by keeping blood sugar levels stable. That means fewer crashes, fewer cravings, and a much easier time managing weight. The fats also tell your brain, you're full, naturally reducing overeating without relying on willpower. There's also the fiber. A single avocado contains around 10 grams, more than most slices of whole wheat bread. That fiber nourishes your gut bacteria, improves digestion, and helps flush out excess estrogen and toxins. Then there's potassium, more than bananas, believe it or not. Potassium helps regulate blood pressure, protect muscle function, and reduce bloating and fluid retention. And for aging eyes and brains? Avocados contain lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that protect your vision, support cognitive function, and reduce inflammation in the nervous system. The body after 60 has different needs. It doesn't need less fat, it needs the right kind. And avocados deliver that, without fuss, without filler. So how do you work avocados into your life? Simply, affordably, and without turning it into a Pinterest project. Start with the basics. Avocado toast. Mash half an avocado onto whole grain bread. Top it with tomatoes, sliced boiled egg, a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds, or even a drizzle of olive oil. It's filling, heart-healthy, and perfect for breakfast or a light lunch. Creamy smoothies. Add 1/4 of an avocado to your morning smoothie. Blend it with frozen banana, a handful of spinach, some almond milk, and a teaspoon of honey. The result? A creamy, nutrient-dense drink that supports gut health and fights cravings. Salad booster. Dice avocado and toss it into salads. It pairs beautifully with arugula, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, or roasted beets. Add a splash of lemon juice and a pinch of salt. You've just elevated your entire meal. Mayo substitute. Mix mashed avocado with a little Greek yogurt and lemon for a sandwich spread or dip. It's flavorful, anti-inflammatory, and skips the processed junk. Worried about ripeness? Here's the trick. Buy avocados while they're still firm. Let them ripen on the counter. Once ripe, store them in the fridge to slow the process. Or slice and freeze them in portions for smoothies later. With just a few small shifts, avocado can become one of the most reliable allies in your kitchen. Simple, satisfying, and restorative. Here's your step: small, intentional, and powerful. Tomorrow morning, replace your usual spread, butter, margarine, mayo, with mashed avocado. It doesn't have to be fancy. A slice of toast, half an avocado, salt, maybe some chili flakes or lemon. As you eat, remember, this isn't just a breakfast, it's a message. A message to your body that you're still listening, that you still care, that healing isn't behind you, it's in your hands. One swap, one slice, one new habit. That's how the healing begins. Food number 2, chickpeas. Tom Palmer, at 72, was the type of man who had always prided himself on living an active life. A former Marine, he'd walked miles through deserts, jungles, and cities. His body had once been his weapon. But now, years later, he was retired, living alone in a modest apartment in Seattle. The pain had started creeping in slowly, almost imperceptibly, and like most things in life, he'd learned to ignore it. But his knees ached more than usual. His joints stiffened after a long day of errands. He felt bloated, as though something inside him wasn't functioning right. The doctor told him he had mild to moderate inflammation in his gut and recommended a cleaner diet. Eat more fiber, the doctor said, especially fiber that promotes gut health. Tom wasn't exactly thrilled with that advice. Fiber wasn't exactly his favorite thing. He'd lived his life on protein and meat, hearty meals that kept him full and fueled. But now, with his health slowly deteriorating, he was willing to try anything. One afternoon, Tom was browsing the aisles of his local grocery store when he came across a display of canned chickpeas. What are these? He wondered. They were small, beige, and plain-looking. Not the kind of food that screamed excitement. But the more he read about them, the more intrigued he became. High in protein, packed with fiber, known to help with inflammation. Well, Tom thought, what do I have to lose? That evening, he opened a can, rinsed the chickpeas, and tossed them into a salad with some greens, cucumbers, and a light vinaigrette. The next morning, he added chickpeas to his oatmeal, blending them in for a hearty, savory breakfast. He didn't expect miracles, but after a few weeks of incorporating chickpeas into his meals, whether in salads, soups, or as roasted snacks, something changed. His knees didn't hurt as much, his stomach wasn't bloated, his energy was up, his inflammation much lower. Tom had found something so simple, so unassuming, that it turned the tide of his health. It wasn't a drug, it wasn't a complicated regime, it was the humble chickpea. A food he never thought twice about had transformed his life in ways that he never imagined possible. Chickpeas are one of the most underrated superfoods in the world. Simple, affordable, and highly effective, especially for those over 60. But why are they so powerful? First, let's talk about fiber. Chickpeas are rich in soluble fiber, the kind that feeds your gut bacteria. And after 60, gut health is one of the most important aspects of overall health. As we age, the diversity of our gut microbiome tends to decrease. This leads to inflammation, poor digestion, and sluggish metabolism. The fiber in chickpeas helps combat this by acting as a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria in your gut. These healthy bacteria, in turn, help regulate your digestion, improve nutrient absorption, and keep your immune system strong. But it's not just about gut health. Chickpeas are also packed with plant-based protein. For those who are looking to maintain muscle mass after 60, chickpeas are a perfect choice. They help to rebuild muscle tissue, regulate blood sugar levels, and keep your metabolism humming at a steady pace. The protein in chickpeas is also essential for bone health. As we age, our bone density declines, but chickpeas, along with other plant-based proteins, provide a source of nutrition that supports healthy bones and joints. Chickpeas also contain vitamins and minerals that are vital for aging bodies. They're rich in folate, which is essential for cell regeneration and repair, and iron, which supports oxygen transportation throughout the body, a critical factor for maintaining energy levels as you age. And let's not forget about the anti-inflammatory benefits. Chickpeas are rich in antioxidants, which help reduce chronic inflammation. This is especially important after 60, when inflammation can contribute to a variety of health issues, including arthritis, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. In short, chickpeas are a triple threat. They provide protein to build and repair muscles, fiber to promote gut health, and antioxidants to fight inflammation. They are the unsung hero of the aging diet. Now, how do you add chickpeas to your daily life in a way that's easy, delicious, and sustainable? Start with roasted chickpeas. You can turn them into a crunchy snack that rivals potato chips, but without all the guilt. Simply toss drained chickpeas in olive oil, sprinkle with your favorite seasonings, like smoked paprika, garlic powder, or even a bit of cayenne for a spicy kick. Roast them in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes, and you'll have a crispy, fiber-packed snack that's perfect for munching on throughout the day. Chickpea salads are another great way to incorporate them into your meals. Toss a can of chickpeas with diced cucumber, tomatoes, red onion, and a handful of fresh parsley. Drizzle with lemon juice and olive oil, and you have a refreshing, protein-rich salad that's perfect for lunch or as a side dish for dinner. Or, for something heartier, try chickpea stew. Simmer chickpeas with vegetables like carrots, zucchini, and spinach. Add some vegetable broth and season with herbs like thyme and rosemary for a warm, nourishing meal that's gentle on the stomach but full of nutrients. If you're looking for a breakfast option, try chickpea oatmeal. Blend chickpeas with your morning oats, cinnamon, and a bit of honey. It's a savory twist that provides a great source of fiber and keeps you full well into the afternoon. Chickpeas are versatile. They can be added to soups, blended into hummus, tossed into grain bowls, or used to thicken sauces. The key is to keep it simple. You don't have to get fancy to make them work, just use them however feels right for your body and your taste buds. Here's your first action step, easy, approachable, and effective. Replace your usual afternoon snack, those crunchy potato chips or processed snacks, with roasted chickpeas. It's simple. Drain a can of chickpeas, toss them with olive oil and seasoning, and roast them in the oven for 30 minutes. The next time you reach for a snack, take a moment to notice how your body feels after eating. The extra fiber, protein, and antioxidants will keep your energy levels stable, your gut healthy, and your hunger at bay. One simple swap, one healthier choice. And it's a step toward a healthier, more vibrant you, with every bite. Food number 3, blueberries. Sarah Monroe, at 70, had spent most of her life looking after everyone else. She'd raised 3 children, worked as a nurse, and always put her family's needs first. But when her children grew up and left home, Sarah was left with a quiet house, a bit more time on her hands, and a body that wasn't quite what it used to be. Her waistline had thickened over the years. She'd gained a little weight in her belly that never seemed to go away. And her memory, well, that was another story. Sarah noticed little things at first. Forgetting where she'd left her keys, struggling to recall names during conversations, misplacing appointments. It wasn't just frustration, it was the creeping fear of something worse, something she didn't want to admit. It's just aging, she told herself. Everyone forgets a little. But one afternoon, while flipping through a health magazine, Sarah read an article about the powerful impact of blueberries on brain health. Blueberries are one of the top foods for protecting your brain and memory, the article claimed. Curious but skeptical, Sarah decided to give it a try. She bought a small carton of fresh blueberries at the local farmer's market, and from that day on, she added them to her breakfast every morning, sprinkled over her oatmeal or tossed into a smoothie. It didn't happen overnight, but after a few weeks, Sarah began to notice subtle changes. She could remember the names of old friends without hesitation. The brain fog she'd been living with for months started to lift. And yes, she noticed something else. Her belly was flatter. The bloating that had been a constant companion began to ease. It wasn't just about weight loss, it was about clarity. Sarah didn't just feel lighter in her body, she felt lighter in her mind. Sarah wasn't a scientist, but she knew something powerful had shifted. And it all started with a small handful of blueberries every morning. Now, let's get into why these little berries are so effective, especially as we age. Blueberries are packed with antioxidants, specifically flavonoids, the compounds responsible for the deep blue hue of these berries. But these antioxidants do more than just protect your skin from aging, they help your entire body fight the effects of time. One of the most studied benefits of blueberries is their anti-aging properties. As we get older, the cells in our bodies undergo oxidative stress, a process that damages cells, accelerates aging, and contributes to chronic disease. Antioxidants like those in blueberries help neutralize free radicals, slowing down the aging process and supporting cellular repair. But it's not just about looking younger, it's about cognitive enhancement. Research shows that the antioxidants in blueberries support brain health, particularly in the areas of memory and cognitive function. A 2012 study published in the Annals of Neurology found that regular consumption of blueberries can improve short-term memory and cognitive performance in older adults. For those over 60, this is crucial. We tend to lose neurons as we age, and those little cognitive slips become more frequent. But blueberries help protect the brain's neurons and increase brain plasticity, which supports better learning and memory recall. Blueberries also support heart health, reducing inflammation in the blood vessels, which in turn helps reduce the risk of heart disease. The anti-inflammatory properties of blueberries help prevent plaque buildup in the arteries, keeping blood flow smooth and your heart healthy. Lastly, let's not forget digestive health. Blueberries are high in fiber, which is essential for smooth digestion and preventing constipation, a common issue as we age. Fiber also supports the gut microbiome, which is increasingly recognized as essential for overall health. In short, blueberries aren't just delicious. They are power-packed with nutrients that help reduce oxidative stress, promote brain function, protect the heart, and keep your digestive system running smoothly. All of these are critical to maintaining health and wellness after 60. So, how do you easily incorporate more blueberries into your daily life? Let's look at a few simple ways. Blueberry smoothie. Blend a handful of frozen blueberries with a banana, spinach, a splash of almond milk, and a teaspoon of honey. It's a quick, brain-boosting breakfast that will also keep you feeling full for hours. Oatmeal topping. Start your morning by sprinkling fresh or frozen blueberries over a bowl of warm oatmeal. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon for an extra anti-inflammatory kick. You'll feel energized and nourished for the day ahead. Blueberry salad. Toss a handful of blueberries into your lunch salad. They pair wonderfully with spinach, walnuts, feta cheese, and a balsamic glaze. This not only enhances the flavor of your salad but gives it an antioxidant boost. Blueberry desserts. For a sweet treat, mix blueberries into Greek yogurt with a drizzle of maple syrup, or use them in a homemade fruit sorbet for a refreshing dessert. The best part? You get to indulge without the guilt. Blueberry water infusion. Add blueberries to your water bottle for a refreshing, naturally flavored drink. This is a fun way to stay hydrated while gaining all the benefits of antioxidants. Blueberries are incredibly versatile, and you can add them to almost any meal of the day. They're an easy addition to your routine, one that not only tastes great but delivers remarkable health benefits. Here's your action step, simple but impactful. Tomorrow morning, add a handful of blueberries to your breakfast. Whether you sprinkle them over your oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or toss them into a salad, make this antioxidant-packed berry a part of your day. This isn't just about enjoying a healthy food, it's about setting the tone for the rest of your day. By taking this small step, you're not just fueling your body with essential nutrients, you're nourishing your mind, your heart, and your gut. One small change, one simple habit, and tomorrow, you'll be on your way to a more vibrant, healthy you. Food number 4, turmeric. Robert Granger, 68, had always been the picture of strength. A former high school football coach, he spent his early years on the field, running, coaching, lifting, living with a body that was always moving. But as time passed, the wear and tear caught up with him. By his late 60s, Robert's knees began to ache in ways that couldn't be ignored. He'd wake up in the morning with a stiffness that would take a few minutes to shake off. Climbing stairs was an effort. Walking any significant distance was even harder. His doctor said it was typical: age, arthritis, inflammation. He was given pain medications and prescribed physical therapy, but the relief was temporary at best. One day, while flipping through a health magazine in his local coffee shop, he came across an article about turmeric. The headline caught his eye: "This spice can reduce pain and inflammation naturally." Turmeric? He'd heard of it, but never gave it much thought. It sounded like just another trend. But something about the article made him pause. The research was compelling. They talked about curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, and its powerful anti-inflammatory effects. They mentioned it could reduce joint pain, ease stiffness, and even boost metabolism. Could this be the answer? Robert wondered. A few weeks later, his curiosity led him to the spice aisle at his local supermarket. He picked up a jar of turmeric powder and some fresh ginger root, just in case. The next day, he made himself his first cup of turmeric tea, a simple combination of turmeric, ginger, honey, and warm water. To his surprise, after a few days of drinking the tea daily, he began to feel different. The pain in his knees didn't vanish entirely, but it was less noticeable. He felt more mobile, more free in his body. His mood lifted, and his sleep quality improved. Robert was skeptical at first. After all, it didn't seem possible that something as simple as a cup of tea could make a difference. But the more consistently he drank it, the clearer the results became. "It's not a miracle," Robert would tell his friends, "but it's a hell of a lot better than what I had before." So, what exactly is it about turmeric that makes it so effective, especially for those over 60? It all comes down to curcumin, the powerful compound found in turmeric. Curcumin is what gives turmeric its rich golden color, but it also happens to be a potent anti-inflammatory agent. In fact, curcumin has been studied extensively for its ability to block the pathways that cause inflammation in the body. As we age, inflammation becomes a silent enemy. It's the root cause of many chronic diseases, including arthritis, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. When inflammation isn't properly managed, it can lead to pain, stiffness, and a decrease in mobility, all things Robert felt in his knees and joints. That's where curcumin comes in. Curcumin works by inhibiting the NF-κB pathway, a protein complex that plays a key role in chronic inflammation. In essence, curcumin helps turn down the volume on inflammation, making it easier for the body to heal itself. But that's not all. Curcumin has also been shown to have fat-burning properties, helping to regulate metabolism and reduce body fat. This is important because as we age, our metabolism naturally slows down. Inflammation in the body can also make it harder to lose weight. By adding turmeric to your diet, you're helping to naturally regulate fat storage and metabolism. Beyond joint pain and metabolism, curcumin has other key health benefits. Cognitive function. Studies show that curcumin can cross the blood-brain barrier, helping to fight inflammation in the brain and protect against conditions like Alzheimer's. Antioxidants. Curcumin is rich in antioxidants, which help neutralize free radicals in the body and reduce oxidative stress. Heart health. Curcumin helps improve blood vessel function, reduce plaque buildup, and support a healthy heart by regulating cholesterol levels. For Robert, and for so many over 60, turmeric's ability to reduce pain, improve mobility, and fight the root cause of chronic inflammation can be life-changing. Now that we understand why turmeric is so powerful, let's talk about how you can easily incorporate it into your daily routine. Start with a simple turmeric tea. Turmeric tea, golden milk ingredients: 1 cup of milk, or plant-based milk, 1 teaspoon turmeric powder, half a teaspoon cinnamon, a pinch of black pepper, important for absorption, 1 teaspoon honey or maple syrup, optional. Instructions: in a small saucepan, heat the milk over low heat. Stir in the turmeric, cinnamon, and black pepper. Once it's warmed through, remove from the heat and sweeten with honey or maple syrup. Drink this warming, soothing tea daily to fight inflammation and support your body's natural healing process. Curry dishes are another fantastic way to add turmeric to your diet. Whether it's a chicken curry, a vegetable curry, or even a lentil stew, you can easily stir in turmeric. The warmth of the curry helps activate the curcumin, and the rich spices create a flavorful, anti-inflammatory meal. Golden milk latte. If you're looking for a quick pick-me-up, try a golden milk latte. Simply mix 1 teaspoon of turmeric with warm milk and a dash of vanilla. The natural sweetness of the milk and the anti-inflammatory benefits of turmeric make this the perfect beverage to start your day or wind down in the evening. Smoothie boost. If you prefer a cold drink, turmeric also works wonderfully in smoothies. Blend a teaspoon of turmeric powder with frozen mango, pineapple, coconut milk, and a dash of ginger for a refreshing, tropical drink that's full of anti-inflammatory goodness. Curries, soups, and sauces. Add turmeric to your soups or stews. Just 1 teaspoon can make a big difference in the flavor and the health benefits. From chicken soup to lentil stew, turmeric will make every bite a little more healing. Here's your action step: simple, effective, and easy to implement. Tomorrow morning, make yourself a cup of turmeric tea. Take 5 minutes to warm up some milk, or your favorite plant-based milk. Add a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and some honey for sweetness. Drink it slowly, savoring the warmth and the comfort it brings to your joints, your muscles, and your mind. Just like Robert, you may start feeling the benefits sooner than you think. One small change, 1 cup of tea, and your body will thank you for it. Make it a daily habit. Let it become part of your morning routine, or the perfect drink to wind down before bed. With time, you'll start to notice less stiffness, reduced inflammation, and an overall sense of well-being. Food number 5, Greek yogurt. Emily Davis was always the kind of person who did things by the book. Born in the 1940s, she spent her youth on a farm, working with her hands, helping her parents tend the land, caring for the animals, and lifting heavy sacks of grain. Physical work was never a stranger to her. But as she entered her 70s, Emily started to notice the effects of all those years spent in motion. Her bones, once strong from a lifetime of hard labor, began to ache. Her knees cracked when she climbed the stairs, and her back stiffened after sitting for too long. She'd hear the quiet whispers of osteoporosis from her doctor, reminding her to take calcium and stay active. But there was a deeper problem, one that she hadn't yet recognized: her digestion. Emily had always prided herself on being a healthy eater, but something wasn't right. She felt bloated after meals, sluggish in the mornings, and occasionally constipated. She'd tried fiber supplements and over-the-counter remedies, but nothing seemed to work long-term. It was during one of her regular trips to the farmer's market when she saw it, a stand offering fresh Greek yogurt. She had heard about it before but had never tried it. The woman at the stall explained that Greek yogurt was packed with probiotics, which helped improve digestion and boost immunity. Emily was skeptical, but decided to give it a try. She bought a small tub of plain Greek yogurt and started incorporating it into her diet. She had it in her morning oatmeal, as a midday snack, and even as a dressing on her salads. After just a few weeks, Emily noticed subtle but powerful changes. The bloating was gone, her digestion improved, and she felt lighter. But the real surprise came when she saw her doctor for her regular checkup. Her bone density had improved, her calcium levels were higher, and her joints had less inflammation. The improvement was striking, and it was clear that Greek yogurt had played a role in her overall health. Emily wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. At 75, she felt like she had rediscovered her strength. And this time, it wasn't just the work on the farm that was keeping her going. It was the healing power of Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt isn't just a trendy health food. It's a powerhouse of nutrition, particularly beneficial for those over 60. Let's break down why it's so effective, especially when it comes to bone strength, digestion, and muscle maintenance. First, let's talk about calcium. As we age, our bones naturally lose density, and after 60, the risk of osteoporosis, a condition that weakens the bones, increases. Calcium is a vital mineral for maintaining bone health, and Greek yogurt is an excellent source. A single serving of Greek yogurt can provide around 15 to 20% of your daily calcium needs. Regular intake helps to build bone mass and maintain strong bones. But calcium alone isn't enough. The protein in Greek yogurt is essential for maintaining muscle mass as well. After 60, muscle mass naturally begins to decrease, a condition called sarcopenia. Protein helps combat this loss by promoting muscle repair and growth. Greek yogurt is packed with high-quality protein, almost twice the amount of regular yogurt, making it an ideal food to support muscle maintenance and prevent muscle wasting. Greek yogurt is also rich in probiotics, live beneficial bacteria that promote gut health. These probiotics play an important role in digestion, improving nutrient absorption, and supporting the immune system. As we age, our gut microbiome changes, and we can become more susceptible to digestive issues. Probiotics from Greek yogurt help restore balance to the gut microbiome, aiding in digestion and reducing symptoms like bloating, constipation, and discomfort. In addition to improving digestion, probiotics have also been shown to reduce inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is at the root of many age-related conditions, including arthritis, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. By adding Greek yogurt to your diet, you're giving your body a tool to fight inflammation naturally. Lastly, Greek yogurt is packed with B vitamins, which help support energy levels, cognitive function, and even improve mood. This is especially important as we age, as cognitive function can decline with time. The B12 found in Greek yogurt is particularly important for maintaining a healthy nervous system and keeping your energy levels up throughout the day. Now that we know why Greek yogurt is so beneficial, let's talk about how to incorporate it into your daily routine, in ways that are delicious and easy to prepare. Greek yogurt breakfast bowls. Start your day with a nutrient-packed breakfast. Add a few spoonfuls of Greek yogurt to a bowl, then top with your favorite fruits, such as berries or sliced banana, a sprinkle of chia seeds, and a handful of granola. You'll get a boost of protein, fiber, and antioxidants all in one. Greek yogurt dressings. Swap out regular mayonnaise or store-bought dressings for Greek yogurt. Mix yogurt with olive oil, lemon juice, and garlic for a creamy, tangy dressing that's perfect for salads or as a dip for vegetables. Greek yogurt healthy desserts. Greek yogurt can be used to make a lighter, healthier dessert. Try mixing it with a bit of honey, vanilla extract, and crushed nuts for a satisfying treat. Or make a simple Greek yogurt parfait by layering it with granola, fresh fruit, and a drizzle of honey. Smoothie add-in. Greek yogurt is a fantastic addition to smoothies. Blend it with frozen berries, spinach, and almond milk for a creamy, protein-packed drink that will keep you full and energized. Greek yogurt in cooking. use Greek yogurt as a substitute for sour cream or mayonnaise in cooking. It's great in dips, sauces, and as a topping for baked potatoes, tacos, or even roasted vegetables. It adds a creamy texture and a punch of protein, all while cutting down on unhealthy fats. Greek yogurt is versatile, easy to work with, and pairs well with both savory and sweet dishes. So, don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. Here's your action step: simple, effective, and easy to do. Tomorrow morning, replace your regular yogurt or sour cream with Greek yogurt. Start with your breakfast. If you're having oatmeal, top it with a scoop of Greek yogurt. If you're making a smoothie, add a spoonful. If you're preparing a salad or taco, use Greek yogurt as a creamy dressing or topping. This small swap will give your body a boost of protein, calcium, and probiotics, and help you start your day on the right foot. It's a simple change, but the impact over time can be powerful. By adding Greek yogurt to your daily routine, you're nourishing your body from the inside out, and you're doing it in a way that's both delicious and sustainable. Food number 6, sweet potatoes. George Mitchell, 69, had always been a man who prided himself on his strength. A retired mechanic, he'd spent his life lifting heavy tools, working under cars, and staying active. But as he entered his 60s, he noticed something changing. His energy was no longer what it used to be. His knees ached after a long day of tinkering in his workshop, and the weight he'd always been able to manage started creeping up, especially around his belly. George had been eating the same way for years, a meat and potatoes kind of guy, a classic American diet. He loved his potatoes, baked, mashed, or fried, it didn't matter. But recently, he'd begun noticing something troubling. Whenever he ate his usual dinner of steak and potatoes, he felt sluggish and lethargic afterward. His stomach would feel bloated, and he'd often get a sugar craving in the evening. His doctor told him that his blood sugar levels were higher than they should be, a sign that his body was having trouble processing the foods he ate. At 69, George didn't want to hear the word diabetes, but that was the reality his doctor was hinting at. So George did what he'd always done: he took matters into his own hands. One day, while reading through a health magazine in his living room, he came across an article on sweet potatoes. The headline caught his eye: "The secret to stabilizing blood sugar and burning fat with sweet potatoes." It sounded too good to be true. But George had nothing to lose. He decided to try it. He swapped his usual white potatoes for sweet potatoes in his meals. Instead of mashed potatoes with his steak, he roasted sweet potatoes in the oven with a drizzle of olive oil and seasoning. Instead of baked potatoes, he made sweet potato fries. A week passed, then 2. George began to notice changes. The bloating after meals faded. His energy felt steadier throughout the day, and he didn't experience the sugar cravings he used to get after dinner. But the biggest surprise came when he stepped on the scale. Over the course of the month, George had shed nearly 7 pounds. His blood sugar levels had dropped significantly, and his doctor was impressed with the results. Sweet potatoes had done for George what he couldn't do for himself with decades of the same diet. They helped regulate his blood sugar, improved his digestion, and helped him lose stubborn fat around his midsection. It wasn't a magic pill, George said, looking back on it. It was a change I could make in my kitchen, and it worked. So, why are sweet potatoes so effective, especially for people over 60 like George? The key to sweet potatoes lies in their complex carbohydrates and fiber content. Unlike simple carbohydrates, which cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, the carbs in sweet potatoes are absorbed more slowly by the body. This slow release helps maintain stable blood sugar levels, preventing the energy crashes and cravings that often follow the consumption of processed carbs or white potatoes. For those over 60, blood sugar regulation becomes a critical issue. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at processing sugar. This can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where the body's cells no longer respond to insulin as effectively, contributing to weight gain, fatigue, and eventually, diabetes. Sweet potatoes are a low glycemic food, which means they don't cause a rapid increase in blood sugar. This makes them an ideal food for managing diabetes or simply keeping blood sugar balanced. They help your body process sugar at a steady, controlled rate, without the spikes that lead to insulin resistance and fat storage. But that's not all. Sweet potatoes are also rich in fiber, a nutrient that's essential for digestive health. The fiber in sweet potatoes helps improve gut function, promote regular bowel movements, and prevent constipation, which becomes more common with age. The antioxidants in sweet potatoes, particularly beta-carotene, are another reason they're so beneficial. Beta-carotene, which gives sweet potatoes their vibrant orange color, is converted into vitamin A in the body. Vitamin A plays a critical role in immune function, vision, and skin health, and it helps fight oxidative stress that contributes to aging and chronic disease. Sweet potatoes also provide a solid dose of potassium, a mineral that helps regulate blood pressure and reduces bloating. For those with high blood pressure or heart conditions, common in those over 60, potassium is an essential nutrient. In short, sweet potatoes aren't just a simple carbohydrate. They're a health powerhouse, full of nutrients that help regulate blood sugar, improve digestion, support heart health, and reduce inflammation. For George, and many others, they represent a simple yet profound dietary shift that has lasting benefits. So, how do you add sweet potatoes to your diet without feeling like you're just eating the same old thing? Let's make it easy, practical, and delicious. Baked sweet potato fries. One of the simplest ways to enjoy sweet potatoes is by making fries. Slice a sweet potato into wedges, toss with olive oil and your favorite seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, a bit of sea salt, and bake in a preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes, flipping halfway through. They're crispy, satisfying, and full of nutrients. Mashed sweet potatoes. Swap regular mashed potatoes for sweet potatoes. Boil them until soft, mash with a little olive oil or butter, and season with cinnamon, nutmeg, or even a dash of maple syrup. It's a comforting side dish that doesn't leave you with the sugar crash. Sweet potato and black bean bowl. Roast sweet potato cubes with olive oil, toss them with black beans, corn, avocado, and a sprinkle of cilantro. This makes for a delicious, nutrient-packed lunch or dinner that is high in fiber and protein. Sweet potato hash. Sauté diced sweet potatoes with onions, bell peppers, and spinach for a hearty breakfast or lunch. Add a poached egg on top for extra protein. Sweet potato soup. Sweet potato makes a great base for soups. Roast sweet potatoes, then blend them with vegetable broth, garlic, and a bit of ginger for a soothing, anti-inflammatory soup that's perfect for cooler weather. Sweet potatoes are versatile. You can use them in both savory and sweet dishes. They're an easy swap for regular potatoes, bread, or other carb-heavy foods, and the best part is that they're delicious no matter how you prepare them. Here's your action step: simple, effective, and perfect for starting today. Replace your usual white potatoes or bread with sweet potatoes at least once a week. This isn't about cutting carbs, it's about choosing the right ones. Swap your mashed white potatoes for mashed sweet potatoes at dinner. Or, use roasted sweet potatoes in place of bread at breakfast. Start small. One meal, one day at a time. You'll be surprised by how quickly your body responds to this simple, yet powerful change. Just like George, you'll start to feel more balanced, more energetic, and more in control of your health. One small change, one big difference. Food number 7, dark chocolate. Nancy Reed, 71, had always been a woman of discipline. She worked hard, raised 3 children, and spent her entire career as a schoolteacher. She had always believed in keeping things simple when it came to food, nothing fancy, just whole foods, plenty of vegetables, and a controlled approach to everything she ate. But when she hit her late 60s, something changed. It wasn't anything dramatic at first, just a feeling of constant fatigue, a bit of discomfort in her chest after climbing the stairs, and a lack of energy that seemed to get worse by the day. Nancy visited her doctor, who ran some tests and told her that her heart health was at risk. Her cholesterol was high, and she was on the cusp of developing heart disease. Nancy didn't like the sound of that. Heart disease ran in her family, and the thought of it settling into her own body was something she couldn't ignore. She started on a strict diet, cutting out fats, sugar, and most of her beloved comfort foods. But one thing she couldn't bring herself to cut was chocolate. Growing up, chocolate had always been a small indulgence, something to brighten her day. She wasn't a big fan of candy, but there was something about a square of rich, dark chocolate that she found comforting. One day, while reading through a health article, she came across an interesting fact: dark chocolate, particularly the 70% or higher variety, could actually benefit heart health and improve mood. Could this be true? She wondered. The article went on to explain that dark chocolate contains flavonoids, plant-based compounds that are powerful antioxidants. They help improve blood flow, lower blood pressure, and reduce the risk of heart disease. The flavonoids also have mood-boosting properties, helping to alleviate stress and anxiety. Nancy was intrigued, but skeptical. After all, wasn't chocolate something to be avoided for heart health? But the more she read, the more she realized that dark chocolate, when consumed in moderation, wasn't the enemy. In fact, it might actually be part of the solution. So, she made a small change. She swapped out the sugary sweets she used to indulge in for 1 or 2 small squares of 70% plus dark chocolate every evening. At first, it felt like a guilty pleasure, but over time, she began to notice changes. Her mood felt lighter. She felt less stressed in the evenings, and the slight discomfort in her chest started to disappear. Nancy's blood pressure went down, her cholesterol improved, and most importantly, her overall sense of well-being soared. I'm not saying it was all the chocolate, Nancy laughs, but I know it helped. It was the easiest change I made, and it's one I could stick with for the rest of my life. So, what's the science behind Nancy's story? Why is dark chocolate, particularly the 70% or higher variety, so good for us, especially after 60? The answer lies in the flavonoids. Flavonoids are plant compounds that have antioxidant properties, meaning they protect the body's cells from oxidative damage caused by free radicals. As we age, the buildup of free radicals in our bodies increases, contributing to aging, heart disease, and even some forms of cancer. The flavonoids in dark chocolate, specifically epicatechins and catechins, are incredibly potent antioxidants. They help dilate blood vessels, improving blood flow, reducing blood pressure, and supporting overall heart health. This is crucial as we get older, when heart disease and hypertension become more common. Studies have shown that regular consumption of dark chocolate can lower LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, while increasing HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol. The antioxidants in dark chocolate can also help reduce inflammation, which is linked to heart disease, arthritis, and other chronic conditions. But the benefits of dark chocolate aren't just physical. It also has remarkable mood-boosting effects. Dark chocolate triggers the brain to release endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that reduce stress and promote a sense of happiness. Additionally, it increases the levels of serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for regulating mood, sleep, and appetite. This combination of heart health benefits and mood elevation is especially important after 60. Stress, anxiety, and depression can affect older adults more deeply, and maintaining a healthy emotional state can have a profound effect on overall wellness. Beyond that, dark chocolate can also support brain health. Some studies suggest that the flavonoids in dark chocolate may improve cognitive function, enhance memory, and even reduce the risk of age-related cognitive decline. As we age, brain health is an increasing concern, and dark chocolate provides a delicious way to support mental sharpness. So how can you enjoy dark chocolate in a healthy way, without overindulging? Here are some simple and practical ways to make dark chocolate a part of your routine. Healthy dessert pairings. Pair a small piece of dark chocolate with fresh berries for a satisfying and antioxidant-packed dessert. The berries' natural sweetness complements the richness of the chocolate, creating a balanced treat that's both heart-healthy and indulgent. Dark chocolate and nuts. A small handful of raw almonds or walnuts paired with dark chocolate is another great option. The healthy fats in the nuts provide satiety, while the chocolate provides the antioxidants that support your heart. Dark chocolate-dipped fruit. For a fun, easy snack, melt dark chocolate and dip fresh fruit like strawberries, bananas, or apples. This is a great way to get more fiber and vitamins from the fruit while enjoying the health benefits of the chocolate. Dark chocolate smoothie. Add a small piece of dark chocolate to your morning smoothie. It pairs well with almond milk, frozen banana, and spinach for a nutrient-dense, energy-boosting start to your day. Dark chocolate bark. Make your own homemade dark chocolate bark by melting 70% plus dark chocolate and spreading it over parchment paper. Top with nuts, seeds, dried fruit, or even a sprinkle of sea salt. Let it harden in the fridge, then break it into pieces for a healthy snack. Dark chocolate smoothie. Add a small piece of dark chocolate to your morning smoothie. It pairs well with almond milk, frozen banana, and spinach for a nutrient-dense, energy-boosting start to your day. Dark chocolate bark. Make your own homemade dark chocolate bark by melting 70% plus dark chocolate and spreading it over parchment paper. Top with nuts, seeds, dried fruit, or even a sprinkle of sea salt. Let it harden in the fridge, then break it into pieces for a healthy snack. The key with dark chocolate is moderation. A small amount, 1 or 2 squares a day, is all you need to enjoy the benefits without overloading on sugar or calories. Here's your action step, simple, yet powerful. Tomorrow, enjoy 1 to 2 squares of 70% plus dark chocolate with a small handful of nuts or berries as a snack. Just one small indulgence a day, a bite of dark chocolate, can support your heart, improve your mood, and provide antioxidants that fight aging. Take a moment to savor it. Let the richness of the chocolate melt on your tongue, and know that you're not just treating yourself to something delicious, you're nourishing your body with something that can improve your health, all while indulging your senses. One simple, joyful habit, and you'll be on your way to a healthier, more vibrant you. We've covered some pretty incredible foods so far, haven't we? Foods that have the power to heal, restore, and transform your health after 60. Foods that do more than just nourish, they actively work with your body to help it thrive. But here's the thing, we're all on this journey together. We've shared stories, we've explored science, and we've looked at the potential of simple foods to change our lives. But I want to hear from you now. What about you? What's that one healthy food or habit that's made a significant difference in your life after 60? Maybe it's a food you've been eating for years that's kept you healthy. Or maybe it's a recent change you've made that's brought noticeable improvements to your energy, your joints, your heart health, or your mood. Tell us your story. Leave your comments below and let's share what's been working for us. Let's inspire each other with the foods, habits, and wisdom that are helping us live our best lives. Because we all have a role to play in this journey of wellness, and by sharing our experiences, we're not just helping ourselves, we're helping others, too. And if you've been surprised by what you've learned so far in this video, I'd love to hear that too. Which food has made you think, wow, I had no idea that could do all that? So go ahead, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation alive. Together, we're creating a space for change, healing, and healthy living at every stage of life. I can't wait to hear from you. So go ahead, tell me which food you're most excited to try. And if you have any questions or thoughts about how to incorporate these foods into your life, feel free to ask. I'll be reading every comment, and I can't wait to hear how you plan to make these changes, one bite at a time. If this wisdom resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss out on more health tips and insights. Stay healthy, vibrant, and informed, because the best is yet to come, and we're in this journey together.